So when I revived my YouTube channel, this was one of the videos I told myself I can't not do. It's my way of trying to break the stigma, sharing my experience and how I deal with things and what I go through. That would probably help people, whoever this resonates with. And I'm also mostly doing this for myself, for days when I forget how to cope. Before we get started, a few things. If you're feeling fragile at the moment, I recommend that you don't watch this video for now and just come back to it later. I'm gonna keep this video as lighthearted as I can. The methods I use to cope are entirely my own. I have not seen a therapist, although I wish I could. It's just so expensive. If you have the means to see a therapist, please do. But I do hope that this video helps you in whatever way it could. It's the backstory of my life. I don't think a lot of us could say or pinpoint a certain thing that caused us to be depressed. Whew. But personally, a lot of it has stemmed from my childhood. I can't say one thing triggered my depression too. It wasn't one person that opened Pandora's box. Let's just put it at that. In my adolescence, I did have pretty toxic relationships, and I think that was what caused it somewhat. But then again, I was a ticking bomb, I believe. All of the things that I have brushed aside and kept in the back burner, it was only a matter of time until it all came to the surface. And my depression started when I was in uni. That's when it came about. So I'm here to talk about the things I do, methods I use to cope, and my thought process, which really helped me get by each day. One important point is that you have to listen to your body. You have to listen and understand what it needs, and you have to be at peace with that. So if your body is telling you, okay, I want to lay in bed all day, do that. If your body's telling you, I need to cry, then do that. If your body's telling you to sleep, do that. And you have to be at peace with it. You can't punish yourself for feeling these things and for doing these things, because it's your body's way of communicating with you. We have to stop, being obsessed with this whole rule that we have to be productive, because otherwise we're just wasting our time, or in this case, we're not healing if we're not doing anything. That is complete bullshit. You can't feel guilty for doing things that your body needs. Another important point is for you to protect your space and your energy. It took a while before I learned this, but there are certain people that I tend to stay away from these days because I realized that they were energy vampires. Maybe they don't know that they're energy vampires. Maybe it's not something they do on purpose, but it's something that I know they do, or that's the effect that they have on me. Another thing this includes is knowing when people are projecting onto you. So projection is such a huge part in understanding that it's not about you. In a way, protecting your space and your energy is keeping this thought in mind that when people treat you like shit, it doesn't really have anything to do with you. I think 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you, unless it's constructive criticism or unless it's tough love given to you in the right way. The rest is just projection. So don't take it personally and don't take it to heart. Just think of it this way. They're having a shitty day, and just so happened I'm the one in the room, or I'm the first person they saw, or I'm the one they feel most comfortable dumping this on. Sorry, I know it's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyway. Exactly. People's opinions of how I choose to cope, how I choose to heal, how I choose to process what I'm going through, that doesn't mean shit. I oftentimes hear the words, why are you hanging out with the same group of people? Why do you like to stay in during weekends? Why do you da 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 da? And they tend not to believe me when I tell them that I'm fine that way, that I'm happy that way. It's even worse when supposedly this person is also dealing with depression and anxiety, and you hear them calling you out for the ways you choose to cope. That is a load of bull. And I hope you don't listen to people like that. As long as you're not harming anyone, as long as you're not harming yourself, as long as you are, floating by, getting through a day at a time, doing what you're doing, whatever it is, then my dear, you are completely fine and you are doing perfect. Trust me. For someone who tends to stay in during weekends and who hangs out with the same 3-4 people, look at this face. Look at this aura. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. It's simple as that. Okay, another very important point, and I said this earlier. Productivity does not make you a functioning human being. Let me say that again. Productivity does not make you a properly functioning human being. Feels good to say over and over again. Let me say it again. Productivity. I wish I could tell you the number of times I have gotten this face. Whenever people ask me what my weekend plans are, and I tell them that I'm gonna be staying at home, sleeping, watching Netflix, doing whatever, but as long as they hear the word staying at home and the word nothing together, they look at me like I'm an alien. Then again, I am. I have to say this again. You're not wasting your life. You're not wasting your time. If all you want to do on weekends, or whichever day of the week, is to just stay at home, relax. No one is better than the other. One question I want to ask people. If you spend every weekend out of your house, partying or hanging out with friends or meeting new people or whatever, are you happy? Do you feel fulfilled doing that? If your answer is yes, then by all means, do that shit. If you're happy staying at home, watching Netflix, sleeping all day, not getting out of bed, do you feel happy and fulfilled doing that? If your answer is yes, then do that shit. Another important point is that I stopped fighting the sads. Before, when I feel it coming, the wave of sadness, it is washing over me. Oh, help, all the feels. I used to fight it, and I distract myself, I do things to not feel it. I stopped doing that. I sit with my feelings and I try to name them when I have the energy to. And I also try to find out the triggers and how to deal with it. But there are also days when I don't have the energy to do that. So I just try to at least name it. What is this? What am I feeling? Am I feeling lonely? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling terrified of the unknown? All these things that could also lead to anxiety. So I try to sit with them and I try to deal with it in ways that I am able to. I don't pressure myself to solve them. I don't pressure myself to get over it as soon as possible. I take it an hour at a time. I get by till the next hour and the next hour and the next hour. Another important point is that I think I've mentioned it earlier as well. I take as much time as I need to just be. Pressuring yourself won't help at all. There are no deadlines. You shouldn't push yourself to overcome things. Some episodes take longer than the others, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're spiraling down. It just means it's a bit of a bigger mountain to climb. Slow and steady. That's how you go about these things. Another important point is that I celebrate victories. I placed the word small victories in my notes, but then talking about it now, I don't really think there is such a thing as a small victory anymore, considering what the entire world is going through and what we're going through collectively and individually. All victories are victories. Getting out of bed, victory. Brushing your teeth, victory. Taking a shower, victory. Heading to work, victory. Or doing work if you're working from home, victory. All of these things are victories. I hype myself up by literally giving myself a pat on the back and saying, "Good job, Abby." Self-affirmations. That's also one thing. Here are some of the reminders worth noting. Sadness is not a negative emotion. Remember the movie Inside Out. It's vital for us to feel sad from time to time. It's also one of our body's ways of purging and processing things happening in our life. Changing our mindset and the way we look at sadness would really help us a lot. And I feel like a lot of self-loathing stems from the notion that, oh my god, feeling sad is such a weakness. It's such a negative thing to feel, but it's not. Sadness is the universe's way of shaking us up and letting all the bad apples fall from the tree. Even when they call this an illness, nothing is wrong with you. You're not broken. You may feel that way at times. You may feel broken, but you are not broken. Progress is not linear, and trying in itself is more than enough. Took a while before I actually came to terms with that phrase, because I would say, I'm trying, but it doesn't seem to help. It is. It's like taking one small step. You know? It's still a step, no matter how small. It helps to know that you have people around you who are going through the same thing, but you have to remember that their ways of coping might not work for me, and that's fine. It doesn't mean they're doing better than I am. It just means that I have to tread in my own pool and figure out what would work best for me. Again, as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting other people, there is no wrong way of coping. There is absolutely no wrong way. If it works for you, it works for you. If it gets you by, gets you by. That's all that matters. And lastly, remember that a lot of us are hiding in plain sight. You know, the person sitting or standing next to you could be going through the worst day of his or her life. And it doesn't cost anything to be kind or to stay out of people's business. If you can't be kind, stay out of people's business. It's as simple as that. Remember to be kind to yourself and acknowledge that this shit is not easy. Collectively, a lot of us are feeling like shit. We're just figuratively masking it together with, literally masking it. Because no one can really see our faces anymore and how we feel, so be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and, stay in your lane. I think as long as we're alive, there's always something that we're going to be healing from, something that we're always going to be processing. Take things in your own pace. Like I said, you're running on your own timeline. There are no deadlines to heal. Just know that you're doing your part and you're getting there. I really hope that this video helped in some way. We're gonna keep getting by, because that's what we do. I hope I wasn't too love and light in this video. I mean, I hate toxic positivity. That's not what I'm trying to do here. Remember to take it easy.